The following may contain strong opinionated views. The views and opinions expressed on this show does not necessarily reflect the views or the opinions of any social media or broadcast platform.
Hi, welcome to Talk Back Live, a show that gets you involved in live conversation and sports with Brian Camp on Sports Update, bringing you the latest developments in today's world of sports. And now here's your host, Frank Allan.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and a pleasant night to each and every one of you in your different time zones around the world and across the country. Here we are once again. It's a Thursday evening. We're coming to you live from New York. That's where we originate. And of course, we're here. It's 8 p.m. on the East Coast, 5 p.m. on the West Coast. It's Friday morning, finally, in London at 1 a.m., 3 a.m. in Israel, and it's 9 a.m. in Tokyo, Japan. They're having breakfast and they're all set and ready to go. And perhaps they're on their jobs by now. We want to thank you so much for being along with us. The name of the show is called Talk Back Live, and we're going to be talking back live to all of you. We're going to be here for the next hour, and in that hour, we have a lot of conversation and a lot of things to talk about. And of course, we're going to get everybody involved in the show as well. For those of you who've been around with us all of these years, we want to thank you so much. You already know the protocol to the show. So with that in mind, we're going to take time out and chat with the people who may be possibly new and here for the very first time. Now, for you guys who are here, we call you guys newbies. That's not a slur or anything, but that's the thing that they say today. Anyway, we're going to be with you for a whole hour. And as the host of the show, I will get things rolling as I'm doing right now. Right now, I am into the prep mode of the show. And as I do these things, I throw out a conversation and we'll add it as a topic. And of course, you don't have to linger on to that topic for the whole time. You can be involved as well. Okay, you can be part of the action. Now, as I get things rolling along, we get the prep thing going along, and of course, we're going to keep it rolling right here. Now, for those of you who are new, you already know that, right? We have three other places in three different locations. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. And you can use any one of those features to get you around. Okay. Now, as I get the show rolling at any time you want, you can chime in and let your fingers do the walking on the keyboards, right? You could type in whatever you want to type about. And of course, we'll see you right there on the big screen. We'll acknowledge that because that's what we do. It's free exchange of ideas and of opinions. And of course, a lot of you have those, and we want to make sure that you get it out there so we can talk about it. So anything goes. Now, if there's any particular thing that you want to talk about as far as topic is concerned, you may do that. We don't care what it is. We try to entertain all of your topics that you want to let out. We just let loose and let it go. Right? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to entertain all of that. And you could do that right now. You don't have to wait for any particular time. As I talk, you can do it right now. And of course, I will acknowledge you and we'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. So that's what we got going. Now, of course, later on in the program, we've got a lot of things to talk about, right? And make sure that you get all of the whatever you want to talk about handy so we can get right to it. Okay. Now, you also ought to know that even though we're on three different places, but we want you to take the time right now to cut and paste the platform that you're watching us on right now. And as I said, we have three of them. We have YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Now, wherever you're watching us, cut and paste the platform and send it to your friends. That's what they call tagging. They say that on Facebook. They call that tagging on Facebook. But either way, if you cut and paste that platform and you say, what is the platform? The platform is the link to where you are. You cut and paste the link to where you are and send it to as many friends as possible. We don't care. Listen, as many as you want. Nothing unlimited here. They'll see it right there. They'll know it's coming from you, and all they have to do is click onto that link. They'll see it coming from you, and it brings them directly to us and directly to wherever you're watching this show. And that's all it takes. And for those of you who are watching us on YouTube, I want you to get a chance to click onto our YouTube channel here, right there, right now. That's where we're on live. Take the time right now. You won't miss anything. It's just a matter of dragging your mouse over, pointing the arrow where you see it says subscribe. Just click onto that, and that's all it takes. All right. No money involved, no nothing. Now, the reason why we want you to do that, first of all, we want to make sure that we keep in touch with all of our viewers, people who've been with us for a long time. We know who they are, and we want to keep in touch with them. And because we do check that. I have a lot of producers that check up on these things and make sure that we have all of these people involved with us and we know who they are. The other reason is now that you have done that, did you do it? Okay, now that you have clicked on and subscribed to us, from here on in, you will get the opportunity to know that whenever we come on live, you get an instant notification because you may forget. Let's say next week you come on, you're on the internet doing whatever you're doing, and you may just unconsciously forget about the show. That's why the instant notification will come up, and that's your reminder right there. And the only thing that you have to do at that point is click onto that instant notification, and it brings you right to the YouTube channel. You want everyone to get acquainted to our YouTube channel. Even if you're watching us on Facebook or Instagram, go to our YouTube channel. If you don't do it now, do it after we get off the air. Go to our YouTube channel. And even though you may like to watch it on Facebook or Instagram, but we want you to go there and click on and make sure that you subscribe to us. Please do that. That's very important. It's very important to us. It really is. We like to keep up on what's really happening. Okay, throughout the show, we've got conversation going, and of course, we want you part of the conversation. And of course, in conjunction with talking to you, we have our own little thing that we throw into the show to keep the format going. For instance, we've got sports coming up, and that's coming up in just a few. Now, Brian Camp is our sports guy. He comes in with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. And he brings us that. But Brian is on hiatus right now. He'll be back pretty soon. And I know a lot of you guys missed him. A lot of you guys asked about him. And he knows that now. I bring that to his attention. So he'll know that he's not neglected or anything, but he's still part of the show. But he will return pretty soon. And he'll deliver his sports. But in the meantime, he took the liberty of sending all of the sports information that we need to relay to you guys. Now, if you have any sports-related questions, of course, I am not the real pro at this, but I will do my very best. And, of course, if I don't have the answers with you tonight, I will certainly give him a call and find out and get that information and then just pass it on to my producers so they can inject it into the shows. Okay, so that's what we got going. We'll have that. And of course, we have also this thing that we call This Day in History. Now, here we are. It's July, and it's almost at the end of July. We're in the middle of July. The month is just about over. It's the 17th of July. Now, on the 17th of July, something happened in the past. Each day, something happens, right? And sometimes it becomes historical. So in this case, the 17th of July, something happened that in the records of history. We've got that coming for you. I have a whole laundry list of it that I'm going to relate to you. That's This Day in History. It's coming up pretty soon right here on the show. Also, towards the end of the show, we talk about those movies. Now, the weekend is coming up. And of course, a lot of you guys are going to be doing a lot of things. Now, we're in the summer mode. Things are happening this weekend. Every weekend, someone has something planned. You may have something planned. You may have a big thing coming up this weekend with your family and friends, outdoor backyard barbecues or whatever. That may be in the realm. And of course, it's only right to do that, right? Okay. Enjoy the summer your way. But we do have movies for you. And I always dip into the Turner Classic Movies. Each week, I go to Turner Classic Movies and select some of the movies that I think are well worth watching. And I just want to pass them along to you. All right, Turner Classic Movies, and they're classics. Some of them black and white, some of them colors, but they're all classics. And I just want to bring those to you. So that's coming up later on in the program too. You got a lot of things to talk about. Remember, all of the views and the opinions expressed on this show, Talk Back Live, does not necessarily reflect the view or the opinion of the people of Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Zoom, or any other social media outlet or broadcast facility. So again, here we are. We thank you for being aboard with us. I hope you had a wonderful week. And of course, as we come to the weekend, we wish you even a better weekend. Now, I know a lot of places in a lot of different parts of the world or countries, you may be experiencing a lot of hot weather. You know, we're still in our heat wave here. It's kind of subsiding a little bit, but the humidity is really high in New York, and we're doing the best we can with it. Some of you may have those real high temperatures, especially if you're there in California or somewhere in Arizona or even Nevada, in those areas, and especially places where there's desert and not a lot of water. Well, you get a lot of heat, but you don't get a lot of humidity, right? See, in our case, coming from New York, we are surrounded by water. So therefore, that water exudes a lot of humidity when it gets hot like that sometimes. Sometimes the humidity is high, sometimes it's low. It could be warm, but less humidity, or you'll be warm and lots of humidity. You know, so when you get a lot of humidity, you got to start sweating. You have to hydrate yourself and put that water back in that you're sweating out. You know, when you sweat out like that, you have to reinstore all of the fluids in your body. And water is the best way to do it. So a lot of people are drinking water, you know, keep things going. So make sure you do that. And if you happen to be in a place where it's really high temperatures and you have a big heat wave, check in on the elderly. If you have someone that lives in your building that's elderly and they can't get around because of the heat, maybe you want to help them out and say, you know, I'm going across the street to pick up some things. Like, can I help you, or can I pick up something for you? You know, or just check in on it. Make sure that, you know, the air conditioning is working properly so they can stay cool. You know, when you elderly people can't get around, a lot of them can't get around like they used to or like they want to. And especially when the weather is that hot. And even in the wintertime, sometimes when the weather is cold, they can't get around. So that's why we should look out for them. Okay, so let's do that. Well, since it's July, and as I told you, the month is almost over. Yes, indeed, the month is almost over. And what do? You get ready for the next month. Now, here we are. We have the 4th of July that's coming, that came, come and gone, and that's coming up. But we have a few more holidays coming up. Uh, I think the next holiday is not until what, September? I guess when we have Labor Day holiday, and then before you know it, you know, you got the month of November, and you know about that. That's Thanksgiving, and then December, you have Christmas. But I want to jump ahead of myself because I'm enjoying the summertime weather right now. And because you know me, and those of you who know me personally know I am not fond of cold weather. So I'm enjoying what's happening right now. And even though it gets hot, I do find ways to cool off. And if I don't have to be out there when the humidity is really high like that, then I know what to do. There's a lot of places, by the way, that you have air conditioning places. You can go there, buildings, they'll allow you in cooling places, as they call them. And they're the facilities where they may let you and senior citizens in if your air conditioning at home is not working properly and you want to go someplace just to cool out. That's a good place to do all of those cooling centers. And if you want to find the cooling center nearest you, that's not too far from where you are, you can look it up. You Google it, find out where it is. That's the good thing about Google. You can find just about anything there. And so you can do that. But yes, the month is almost over and August will be here. And we're not celebrating anything specific, not anything specifically for the month of July. There's no holidays except for the 4th of July, which we bypassed. anything. But I can tell you all month long, we've got things that'll cool you out, that we relate to you. For instance, I don't know if you knew it, but I'll tell you anyway, it's National Ice Cream Month. You can't make this stuff up. It's National Ice Cream Month, and all month long, they're dedicating this particular month to promote ice cream. Now, whatever your favorite ice cream is, that's up to you, but that's what they're promoting, National Ice Cream Month, and people are doing that. Now, when you mention ice cream, of course, that's summertime, and you mention the amusement park. In our case here in New York, we've got Coney Island that's famous for ice cream and hot dogs and all of those things. And speaking of hot dogs, it's also National Hot Dog Month. Now, I'm not saying you have your hot dogs and your ice cream together. Of course, you want to do that separately, of course, unless, of course, you have one of those cast iron stomachs that you don't mind doing that. I don't know if some people could mix weird things together. I mean, if you that's your thing, but I'm just letting you know. I'm just letting you know. We have National Ice Cream Month and National Hot Dog Month. Every time I think of hot dogs, I always think of Coney Island myself, especially back in the day when I was really young and things were cheaper, right? You had cheap places like hot dogs were like, I think about 10 cents, then they went up to 20 cents. You know, try to find a hot dog for that price today. I don't think you're going to find that, you know. So that's what it is. National Ice Cream Month and a National Hot Dog Month, all celebrating at one time. So you pick your choice. Anyway, just in case you're just joining us, the name of the show is called Talk Back Live. And we invite each and every one of you to come along with us. And if you have anything in particular that you want to talk about, please feel free. The door is always open here for conversation, and whatever your poison or your taste of conversation may be, let us all in on it. And you can talk about anything you want to. Hey, listen, even if it's something that's personal, like something happened to you on the way to the forum or something to that nature, right? We'll talk about that. It's all conversation, and we try to make all the conversation fun conversation for all of us together. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. David Kaff, the British actor and musician known for playing the keyboardist by the name of Viv Savage in the Rob Reiner's This Is a Spinal Tap. He died Friday, and no cause of death has been officially confirmed. But his band, Mutual of Adamitas, Wild Kingdom, reported that Kaff had peacefully passed away in his sleep. He was 79 years old. Connie Francis, who dominated the pop charts in the 1950s and 60s with sobbing ballads like Who's Sorry Now, Don't Break the Heart That Loves You, as well as up-tempo soft rock tunes like Stupid Cupid, Lipstick on Your Collar, and Vacation, died Wednesday. Francis had an easy, fluid voice and a great style, powerful set of lungs as well, and a natural way with a wide variety of material. Old standards, rock and roll, country, as well as popular songs in Italian, Yiddish, Swedish, and a dozen more language. And she once said, everybody should be Italian once. Connie Francis was 87 years old. We're going to miss her. I played a lot of her records, and I'm going to miss her. But it's good that she left a legacy here for all of us. That news came out. I woke up with that news this morning. Came out this morning. I woke up. So we're going to miss Connie Francis. As I said, Brian Camp comes on with the latest developments in today's world of sports. However, folks, Brian is not here today, and maybe he's watching us. I don't know. But he always brings us information on sports. And of course, he left us with some, and we're going to bring that to you right now. So if you're into sports, this is your time. If you have any questions related to sports or anything, I'll do my best to talk about it. Because like I said, the name of the show is called Talk Back Live, so we talk sports, politics, or whatever you want to talk about. So let's get into the very wonderful world of sports, as they used to say, the wonderful world of sports. Okay, on this day, July 17th, back in 1902, Orioles forfeited to the St. Louis Cardinals. St. Louis Cardinals for having only 5 players to play. In 1925, Tris-Speaker is the 5th player to get 3,000 hits. Back in 1941, New York Yankees Joe DiMaggio's 56-game hitting streak ends in Cleveland. On this day in history, well, not on this day in history, on this day in sports, in 1954, the first Major League Baseball game where majority of team is black. Those were the Brooklyn Dodgers. Back in 1978, Billy Martin and Reggie Jackson fight in the dugout after Jackson refused to bunt. In 1990, the Minnesota Twins becomes the first team to turn 2 triple plays in a game. And birthdays on this day in sports. Toni Stone was the first woman to play in a men's Negro League. She was born in St. Paul's, Minnesota. 1932, Bobby Slick Leonard, Hall of Famer and a Hall of Fame coach of the Indianapolis Pacers. The Indiana Pacers, was born in Terre Haute, Indiana. In 1941, Darryl Lamonica, NFL quarterback of the Los Angeles Raiders, was born in Fresno, California. In 1942, Connie Hawkins, the NBA player, was born in Brooklyn, New York. In 1942 as well, Don Kissinger, Major League Baseball player, was a shortstop for the Chicago Cubs, was born in Forest City, Arizona, or I should say Arkansas. In 1972, Donnie Marshall of the Cleveland Cavaliers was born in Detroit, Michigan. In other sports, Washington Commanders receiver Terry McLaurin said he hasn't decided whether he will attend the open week of training camp next week, telling reporters on Tuesday that he is pretty frustrated about the lack of movement on contract talks with the team. McLaurin has 1 year remaining on his 3-year, $68 million contract extension, and his status for next week's training camp remains unclear. Major League Baseball honors the late Hall of Famer Hank Aaron by recreating his record-breaking 715 home run through the use of projection, mapping, and pyrotechs. The lights went out at Tourist Park, and fans stood holding their cell phones with the lights, their cell phones, lighted cell phones, following the 6th inning of the Tuesday night American League All-Star game, American and National League All-Star game. And since from April 8th, 1974, at the Old Atlantic Falcon, the Fulton, that's the Fulton County Stadium, was projected on the field and also shown on the video board. The high-tech image of Aaron and other players was seen on the Truset Park infield before a blaze of fireball launched from home plate to signify the homer that pushed Aaron past Babe Ruth's record of 714 homers. Aaron's widow, Billy Aaron, stood and waved as the cheers from the sellout crowd of 41,207 grew louder. Wyndham Clark has been suspended from Oakmont County Club due to his golfer's attention to demanding of a locker. He's damaging a locker, the 2025 U.S. Open last month. In a letter obtained by Golf Digest, the club president, John Lynch, informed members that Clark is not allowed on the property and that he can reinstate himself if he fulfills certain requirements. Now, those requirements, like paying for the damage, making charitable contributions, and attending counseling and or management anger sessions. USA bobsled and skeleton has entered into a multi-year endorsement. That's an endorsement deal with the American Honda, one that will give the Sliding Sport Federation financial and technical support going into sports or into both next winter's Mellon. That's the Mellon karting organization of the Olympics and the 2030 games in the French Alps. The deal around Wednesday, that was announced Wednesday, has been in the works for some time. Honda said, in which becomes the official premier technology partner of the team, will give USABS, among other things, access to windmills in Ohio for research. And of course, it will be developed on purpose. Also, soccer is one of the most popular sports in the world, but it still grapples to get the traction for the USA group of entrepreneurs aims to change the playing field for the sport, which will be launched. Now, the Kickback Soccer Media, a new platform that aims a people. It's a group of people who got back into the sports in 2026 World Cup. The new media outlet will consist of 3 different venues cultivating soccer fans, and has struck an agreement with the social media platform Blue Sky that aims to make the home of U.S. conservation about soccer and advance to sports to top events for next year. Now, if you have any sports that you like to watch and you're trying to find out where they're located and when they're playing or how they're playing, go on Google and go and to your local listings. Go to your local listings and find out your favorite team, particularly if you're watching baseball. And if you're watching baseball, of course, baseball, by the way, you're not going to find any up until, I guess, tomorrow night. That's when everything will get back in order. Because of the All-Star game, they have the All-Star game, and of course, they have the Home Run Derby. So all of the teams are taking a rest. So everything starts back tomorrow night, just in time for the weekend. And a lot of you watch baseball over the weekend, so there'll be a lot of that this weekend coming up. So that's what's happening in today's world of sports. We, of course, thank Brian Camp for being with us and, of course, giving us the play-by-play and taking the time to send it to us. And as I said, Brian will be back in due time. Of course, he's on hiatus, and he's going to bring us sports on his own when he comes back. So we thank you, Brian, and we look forward to seeing you back here pretty soon. And just in case you're just watching us, the name of the show is called Talk Back Live. And we're talking back live to you. And of course, you and all of you who are watching us in your different parts of the world, no matter where you are, we're there. Because even though that we're coming live from New York, we're still here all around the world. That's where we originate, from New York. And of course, we take the time to make sure everybody is around with us. So no matter where you are, as long as you have a great place where you find Wi-Fi and a hot spot, it's right there. I want to say hello to Mary Reed out of Brooklyn, New York, who just joined us here, watching us on YouTube. Mary, thank you so much for being along with us. And a pleasant good evening to all of you. And those of you who are watching us, I see you right there on Instagram and Facebook. We want to thank you so much for being along with us. Now, a lot of you people are wondering, and some found us and wondering why we're not doing it live on Facebook anymore. All right. Now we're still having, and I'm still looking into the situation. This is a situation that I really am not appreciating because a lot of people want to go back to Facebook, but um, we're trying hard. I got in touch with the Facebook people early during the week, and I got to tell you, and you may know this just as well as I do, that Facebook is not organization that will get back to you. They're not that kind of an organization. Unless, of course, you're paying a certain amount of dollars as a premium to get, I guess, what you would say, get some kind of information where you can get technical support. All right. And, but I wrote them a note explaining to them what the problem was, what my problem was on doing live shows through Zoom to Facebook. Can't explain it any different than that. And just as I expected, no one got back to us, and we double checked. Technically, we double checked to see if were able to do it. Sometimes we do the test runs during the week, see if we can do it, and still no luck. And we haven't heard anything or anyone from Facebook that can give us information. So, and I don't take it personally because Facebook is like that. They can change something just like that, and you will never know it until you actually experience it. You will never know it. They make changes. There was a time when you can go on Facebook and you can do a split screen with someone. And we used to do that. We used to do that. Well, we used to do the show, and we used to get Brian on the show, and we could do it directly from Facebook, split screen from Facebook. And they stopped that. When we started this show, Talk Back Live, it was a radio show. And it was Talk Back Live on Facebook radio, where you have the choice of doing audio and video. And on Talk Back Live, we always did the video part. They no longer do that. That's why we came to do this, because I remember a couple of years back when we decided, well, we're going to go on air, and we couldn't go on air. We couldn't go on air. And so ever since then, we just said Talk Back Live is now going to be visual. And that's how it's been ever since. And they never explain why they took down those features. They never do that. So if you're talking Facebook, I guess you're talking Meta, that also controls not only Facebook, but Instagram as well. You never get a chance to know why. They never tell you why. Have you ever been into what they call Facebook jail? Have that ever happened to you? With that, they just take you off. You can't do anything on Facebook. They punish you by taking you off Facebook for maybe a week, two, sometimes a month, depending on the violation or the so-called violation that they said. And sometimes these violations could be something that happened 5 years ago, and they just bring it up. I remember they took us off the air on Facebook for a so-called violation that happened. And something happened that went back to 5 years prior. And they never told us anything on what it was, or why we were taking off. But they say they just left us that note. That's the only note they give you, right? They'll tell you you are, in terms of a violation, you are no longer going to be broadcasting for 90 days. They would say something like that. And so 90 days, or however long they tell you, you can't broadcast. And so we had to take everything to Instagram. Of course, we do Instagram every week anyway, live. And we had to make the platform, which is where we are right now, on YouTube. All right. And so saying that, it's still the same thing. Facebook doesn't tell us anything, whether we are going to get you back, or they never answer. So, Mary, if you're watching, I know you were talking about it as well with us. Uh, for right now, we're still trying, but we don't know what to do right now. And we keep the show on the air, and this is the way we keep the show on the air. Some people just don't want to visit us on uh, YouTube, or they don't want to, make the switch from Facebook to YouTube. And so, and if you don't do it, I'm going to miss you guys if you don't come, if you don't do it. You know where we are because we promote it on Facebook each week. Early during the day, we put a posting up there. Uh, like we put Talk Back Live tonight, and you can see the posting up there, but it has the YouTube symbol up there, it has a picture of me, has a picture of Brian on there, and it just says Talk Back Live tonight. And it also gives you the link, which is very easy, the link to where we are right now. And all you have to do, just as simple as that, is click onto that link, and it brings you directly to us. That's what we do. And you can keep the link in your electronic devices. So whenever we come on live, we're coming on live, just use the link and click onto it. It brings you right to the page. But a lot of people don't want to do that. They don't want to go through that. And I understand they're stuck on Facebook and that's where they want to be. And if we're not there, they're just not going to make a move. That's okay. Well, but I hope they would eventually, the people that were here that we no longer see. But yeah, that's what happens. That's what happens. So there you go. Okay, with all of that being said, I think it's that time. Don't you think it's time to go back in time? And we're going to go back in time. And on this day in history now, on this day in history, in 1956, MGM releases the film High Society starring Bing Crosby, Grace Kelly, and Frank Sinatra. On this day in history, 1959, North by Northwest starring Cary Grant and Eva Marie Saint premieres in Los Angeles. On this day in history, 1964, ANC leader Nelson Mandela is awarded the Jolie Curry Medal of Gold Medal for Peace. In 1965, WLCY, which is now WTSP, that's Channel 10, that's in St. Petersburg's Tampa, Florida, an ABC station begins broadcasting. Back in 1968, the Beatles animated film Yellow Submarine premieres in London. In 1974, the Moody Blues opens the first quadraphonic recording studio in the UK. In 1980, Ronald Reagan formally accepts Republican nomination for President of the United States. In 1989, Paul McCartney releases the single This One from his album Flowers in the Dirt. In 1995, Forbes magazine announces Bill Gates is the richest man in the world with a net worth of $12.9 billion. In 1995, singer-songwriter Carole King and 1971 album Tapestry, which she would never outdo because she did that and that was the end of it. She couldn't outdo that album. That was the top album she ever did. The Tapestry album is certified as a diamond for the sales of 10 million units in the United States. In 1998, The Mask of Zorro, starring Antonio Banderas, Catherine Zeta-Jones, and Anthony Hopkins is released. In 2015, Marvel's Ant-Man, starring Paul Rudd, is released. Actor James Cagney was born on this day in 1899 in New York City. He died March 30th in 1986 at the age of 86 years old from a heart attack. Comedian actress Phyllis Diller was born on this day in 1917 in Lima, Ohio. And she died August 20th in 2012 at the age of 95 years old from natural causes. In 1920, Bill Monroe, American sportscaster, newscaster, NBC TV, Congressional Report, was born in New Orleans, Louisiana. and he died in 2011. In 1935, on this day in history, actress Diane Carroll was born in the Bronx in New York City, and she died in 2019. Actor Donald Sutherland was born on this day in 1935 in St. John, New Brunswick, Canada, and he died June 20th, 2024, at the age of 88 years old. In 1939, Spencer Davis of the Spencer Davis Group with that tune, Give Me Some Lovin', was born in Swansea, Wales. He died in 2020. In 1940, actress Phyllis Davis, she played on Love American Style and Vegas. She was born in Port Arthur, Texas. She died in 2013. In 1942, singer Gail Garnett, We'll Sing in the Sunshine, We'll Laugh Every Day. Remember that song? And she was born in Auckland, New Zealand. She's 83 years old today. In 1950, singer Phoebe Snow was born in New York City. She died in 2011. 1951, actress, singer Lucy Arnett was born in Los Angeles, California. She's 74 years old today. Hello, Lucy. And actor David Hasselhoff from Baywatch was born on this day in 1952 in Baltimore, Maryland. He's 73 years old today. In 1952, singer Nicolette Larson with her hit song, Whole Lot of Lovin'. And also another song that she did, I Only Want to Be With You. She was born in Helena, however you want to pronounce it, Montana, and she died in 1997. And as we move down the line, Chancellor of Germany, Angela Merkel, was born on this day in 1954 in Hamburg, West Germany. She's 71 years old today. 1963, actress Denise Miller. She played Billy on Archie Bunker's Place. She was born in Brooklyn, New York. She's 62 years old today. In 1963, R&B singer Regina Belle was born in Englewood, New Jersey. She's 62. In 1942, actress Lana Turner weds her second husband, actor Steve Crane, and they got annulled later due to uncomplicated divorce proceedings. In other words, they didn't finish their divorce, so they had to do that. Anyway, 1943, contralto singer, I think her name is, her name is Marian Anderson. Marian Anderson weds architect Orpheus H. Fisher in Bethel, Connecticut. And back in 1954, comedian Groucho Marx weds his actress wife, I think she was an actress, Edna Hartford, and up until they divorced in 1969. In 1990, Motown founder Berry Gordy weds Grace Easton, and they got divorced in 1993. In 1990, Palestinian leader Yasser Arafat weds his wife, Suha Tawil. In 1999, actress Helen Hunt weds Simpsons voiceover artist Hank Azzaro in Los Angeles, California. And also in 1999, actress Raquel Welch weds American pizza maker Richard Palmer in Beverly Hills, California. They got divorced in 2004 and 2006. Wheel of Fortune original host Chuck Woolery weds his wife, his fourth wife. His name is Kim Barnes at the Bellagio Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. They got divorced in 2016. And in 2016, actress and model Tatiana Ali weds Vaughn Raspberry in Beverly Hills, California. In 1975, Beatles member Ringo Starr and I think her name is Maureen Cox Starkey. They got divorced after 10 years of marriage. Singer Billie Holiday died on this day in 1959 at the age of 44 years old. Complications of cirrhosis of the liver, allegedly. You can, depending on who you talk to. She was born April 7th, 1915 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Jazz artist John Coltrane died on this day in 1964 at the age of 40 years old from liver cancer. He was born September 23rd, 1926, in Hemlin, North Carolina. In 2006, mystery writer Mickey Spillane dies from pancreatic cancer at the age of 88 years old. Journalist Walter Cronkite died on this day in 2009. He was 92 years old. He was born November 4th, 1916, and his birthplace was St. Joseph, Missouri. And let's see, we're going down the line. Congressman John Lewis died on this day in 2020 at the age of 80 years old from pancreatic cancer. And he was born February 21st, 1940 in Troy, Alabama. And that's what's happening on this day in history. You know how possibly what happened on this day in history. If you know something else that we may not know here, please let us know. We'd like to hear from you. I'd like to give you that information to all the people who are watching us on this day in history. And of course, we want to send that along too. So that's what we do on this day in history. A lot of things happen, all right? And each day is a day that could be possibly a historical day. And on this day in history, here we are, July 17th. And we're almost over with the month. Time goes off quick. If you're just watching us, the name of the show is called Talk Back Live. And here we are. Now, Mary have sent me an emoji, said crown. It's an emoji. It says crown. It's a symbol of a crown, number one. Okay. Not sure what that means, but she also says, at least I can get Talk Back Live on YouTube channel, and we hope that everybody does, because I'm not subscribing to Instagram. All right. And you don't have to subscribe to Instagram. You just go on Instagram. It's right there. You don't have to subscribe to get to the show. So that's a plus, she says. And Mary, yeah, I am really sorry. I am really sorry that we cannot do any better than what we're doing right now, because everybody was there. A lot of people have not found us yet, and that's why we try to keep the word going, and we do that as much as we can. But everybody likes Facebook. Everybody likes Facebook, regardless of their faults, and all of them do have faults. Listen, there's not a social media outlet that doesn't have faults. Some you like more than others. Some people like Facebook. It's been around forever almost, and some people like Facebook because they like to listen to other people say what they say. Now, Facebook is something that people just post things on, and it's not the same with YouTube. You can't post on YouTube. You can't do the same things that you do on Facebook on YouTube. And that's why people like Facebook. Now, some people hate Facebook because of the drama. There's a lot of drama on it. Or if you want to find drama, you keep going on Facebook. There's a lot of drama there. You just keep going on Facebook. You see a lot of drama there, you know. But people like to post. People like to say, oh, I saw so-and-so today, and look who I saw today. I saw President Clinton. And they take a selfie with President Clinton. And they post it on there. You can't, well, I mean, if you have your own Facebook page, I guess you would do that, but you want the world to see it. So you go on Facebook. You want the world to see it. So you go on Facebook and post all those things. A lot of people post a lot of things. I mean, I do too. I don't post as much as I used to. I used to do it like daily, not as much, you know. Especially, I don't talk politics on Facebook because people have a tendency to want to fight on Facebook, and I'm not about fighting on Facebook. So what if I have to say anything politically, I say it on this show. And if you want to come on live and talk about it too, sure, you can do that. Uh anyway, what I wanted to get to, the beat goes on and the show goes on, and I'm talking about that clown show that goes on. There's a lot of things that's happening, and golly, boy, everything is happening. You know, the biggest news today now that no one can shake right now is the Jeffrey Epstein files. The Jeffrey Epstein files. The fella cannot shake that. He wants all of his people to say, hey, you know something, let's not talk about this. I don't want to talk about this. And of course, his sidekick, the one that's still wet behind the ear, Pam Bundy, she's still wet behind the ears. You know, she's still a young kid. She's 27 years old. She's still wet behind the ears. And she says, oh, I have the files on my desk. It's on my desk right now, but they refuse to release the files. So bad to the people, to the point where even his Republican counterparts are saying, oh, no, you know what? I'm not for this, you know. And this is not going to, for what I see right now, it's not going away. And so he is so angry about it. Now he's even calling his own base, the people that support him, his own base, call them stupid, weak people, you know. And all of the, if you look around, I don't know if you're into it or not, but if you go on some of the podcasts, you see some of the conservative podcasters like Alex Jones. You know, he's talking about it, and they're disputing all of this. Alex Jones, Megyn Kelly, uh, uh, you mentioned so many of them. You know who they are: Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens. You know, Megyn Kelly, but you know, they all talk about it. They say they're all talking about it. But don't mistake anything. Now, don't mistake just because these people are talking about it and they're making a big deal out of it, they're still Trumpers. And even Megyn Kelly said, "Oh, I'm a Trump supporter. You know, I'm a Trump supporter. You know, after all of that, after all of the years of his chaos and sending people to places where they don't even belong and cutting all of these things, all of the funds, all of these things they're talking about, but yet and still they stick with it. So make no mistake about it. Just because you're seeing these conservative podcasters dishing it out, and calling him stupid, and all of this, and just like Candace Owens said that she thinks that Donald Trump thinks that his base or the MAGA base is stupid. That's what she said. She said Donald Trump thinks his MAGA base is stupid. Well, Candace, they are. They are. After everything that he did, everything, and I don't know what that makes you. You still follow him. I don't know. I don't know what it makes Megyn Kelly. But if you stick with this guy, I don't know that. What does that make you? Nevertheless, we're all free to go to who we want to go to, or who we want to deal with. You know. And as far as Megyn Kelly is concerned, I don't trust her as far as I can throw her, and I can throw her pretty hard. I can throw her pretty hard, and don't give a damn where she lands or how hard she lands. You know. And as far as Candace Owens, in my opinion, my personal opinion, I think she's a self-hating black. You know, because I've heard all of the things that she said about people in the black community. I think she's a self-hating black. You know, but then that's another show. You know, but what do you think about it? You know, and this issue is a distraction. He's trying to cause a distraction so he can get on with other agendas, like cutting the funds. For instance, like you already heard about it, he's cutting the funds for public radio, public TV. PBS, NPR, Voice of America, you know, with the weather radio station, with the weather NOAA radio station, cutting the funds for that, for things that are desperately needed, cutting it all, you know. Uh, you know something? I talk about the felon all the time. I talk about him all the time. You know something? If this guy looked at himself in the mirror, just take time, look at yourself in the mirror and call yourself out for what you really are, then possibly people will probably respect you for that. Maybe, maybe not. If you did that, if you had looked yourself in a mirror and called yourself out for what you really are, you might get a little respect, but he won't do it. He won't do it. So there you go. Okay. I mean, I've had enough. I've had enough. I want to go on to some more stuff, important stuff like movies. Now, a lot of you guys who are watching us right now know the weekend is coming up. And of course, during the weekend, you do all of your activities. But one of the things that you might want to do is catch up on some movies. And that's where I come in. I have a couple of movies this week that you may be interested in. All right. And they're both in color. And they're both classics. For instance, the first one I have is 1949 called On the Town with Gene Kelly, Frank Sinatra, and Betty Garrett. It's on Turner Classic Movies. You can check it out on Saturday. It's 12 p.m. Eastern. It's a musical comedy, and it's a whole lot of fun to watch from 1949, but it's in color, Technicolor. Then you have the Flower Drum Song, which is another musical from 1961, starring Nancy Kwan, James Shagetta, and Juanita Hall. And that's on Turner Classic Movies. And you can check that out. That's Sunday at 3:15 p.m. Eastern. That's a decent time to watch it. And by the way, when you go on Turner Classic Movies, also while you're there, if you have your cable, you can go on demand and you can check out all of the free movies that are available as well. There are a lot of free movies that are available that you can watch. There are a lot of great sporting events that you can watch. If you don't get a chance to watch them in real time, you can watch them later on at your own convenience if you DVR them. You have children's programs, documentaries, cooking programs. All of the networks are there. If you missed your favorite soap operas, you can go back and watch them the following day. You know, whatever you miss, you know, it's right there. Also, you have pay-per-view movies. And of course, movies that are in the theaters now that you may want to check out without going to the movies, right? Of course, you have to pay a little more for them, but you know, that would be up to you. It's all right there. And so do that. Check it out. And did I mention the networks are there? Yeah, I mentioned the network. You like Lifetime movies? There are a lot of them on there. You know, they have all of the network icons that you could click on, and and just click on to them, see what they have to offer, see what's available, see what you like. It's right there. All right. And then of course, you guys being resourceful, you also have all of the streaming outlets like not Facebook, Netflix, Paramount, you know, all of those great things that you can check out. Disney Plus, all right there, you know. But I just add these movies to you. So I want to do this one more time. I want to talk about this movie one more time. 1949, it's called On the Town. And you have Gene Kelly, Frank Sinatra, and Betty Garrett. It's a nice musical comedy on Turner Classic Movies. And you can check it out Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern. And then you have the Flower Drum Song from 1961, starring Nancy Kwan, James Shagetta, and of course, Juanita Hall. It's on Turner Classic Movies, and that's on Sunday at 3:15 p.m. Now, check them out. See if you like them. If you like them, let me know. Let me know how you like them. And of course, put a note on my desk on Monday. Let me know how you like them, okay? We'll be looking forward to it. Well, folks, that's going to wrap it up for me. I'm going to be back tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern. And the name of that show is called The Coffee Hour. It's 10 a.m. Eastern on The Coffee Hour. We'll have sports. I look forward to seeing you then. Bring your coffee, donuts, or whatever you have to munch on, and we'll have a few conversations. We'll have a lot of fun. Other than that, meet me back here on next Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern for more of Talk Back Live. We'll have sports, and we'll look forward to seeing you then as well, and we'll have a lot of fun. In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, have yourself a great morning, good afternoon, good evening, and a pleasant good night. We'll see you soon. Take care.
You've been watching Talk Back Live with your host Frank Allan. The producer is Al Dale. Technical assistant Dave Taylor. Research by Sandy Pierce. And I'm your announcer Donna Stenke. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Talk Back Live.